Preacher removed from the pulpit amid abuse investigation. Mike Bickle, the founder of the International House of Prayer of Kansas City, not to be confused with the International House of Pancakes, was temporarily removed from the pulpit over allegations of sexual misconduct by several women within his congregation. A statement issued by three former IHOP KC, again, not IHOP as in the Pancake House, but in this preacher, leader said, a few days ago, we made the leadership team of the International House of Prayer in Kansas City aware of serious allegations spanning several decades concerning its founder, Mike Bickle. The statement said, adding that they found these allegations of clergy sexual abuse by Mike Bickle to be credible and longstanding. This is according to Judy L. Thomas at the Kansas City Star. The men said that prior to meeting with IHOP KC leadership, they tried to bring the allegations and testimony of one alleged victim to Bickle. However, we were repeatedly rebuffed by Mike Bickle and we were refused any sort of meeting, the statement said. Instead, Mike used manipulating and intimidating tactics towards the victims to isolate them and discredit them. Again, that also is from Thomas at the Kansas City Star. More background on Bickle. Bickle is a fringe far-right figure who repeatedly preached that Donald Trump was personally anointed by God to save America. Save same-sex. He said same-sex marriage was a sign of the end of times and blamed Jews for the Holocaust. His group has been condemned by many ex-staffers and past followers of being cult-like. The Kansas City Star could never reach Bickle nor IHOP KC for comment. And that's, of course, according to the Daily Beast and Alex Wynn. Previous controversies involving this organization, IHOP KC made national headlines in 2012 after a follower was found dead in what was ruled a suicide. But after her funeral, a man came forward and said he killed her on the orders of her husband, who led a prayer group whose members lived together. The man was charged with first-degree murder, but later recanted, and the charge was eventually dismissed. And in 2018, a staff member who led an internship program for those 50 and older was accused of sexually abusing a woman at a church in California in the mid-'80s, which the accuser was a teen. Again, that's back to the Kansas City Star and Judy. There's a lot going on here, Dina. I really want to hear your take on this. Back to this cult-like behavior of these pastors who swear that they're doing the Lord's work and bidding for Donald Trump at the same time, and it gets more and more complicated every time they open their mouth. What say you?
I mean, sadly, we see a version of this story quite a bit where the person from the pulpit is really extreme, again, against other groups that they don't like. Here, he's anti-Semitic, he's homophobic, and yet behind the scenes, they're doing so much worse, the hypocrisy. I have to say, I think it took real courage for those women to come forward, being part of the congregation. They risked being ostracized from their community, right? I mean, when you're part of a church like that, that becomes your community, maybe even perhaps their family. And yet they were still willing to come forward. I think that takes a tremendous amount of courage, and good on those women for doing that, because they help prevent other women from being in that same situation.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's funny to me that when people are saying that Trump is anointed by God, it never fails. They always come out and there's some kind of scandal behind them, for that matter. We've seen several of the black pastors for Trump all get embroiled in these type of scandals, because there's no anointing of these politicians, especially not Donald Trump, as he show up in a manner that says he cares nothing about anything except for Donald Trump.